There is a gravity to the real that cannot be escaped, a pull that brings the wandering mind back down to the actual floor, to the undeniable fact of what is happening in this specific town. Inside this specific chest, it pulls you down from the theoretical heights of the arranged. The gravity of the real is heavy and profound, and leaves the man who feels it permanently changed. I tried to float above it for a season, in the thin air of the detached and the controlled. But floating is just a slower kind of falling, and the thin air leaves a man extremely cold. The gravity of the real is what I needed to bring me back to the center of the earth, to anchor me inside the honest feeling, and show me what the anchored life is worth. The gravity of the real is pulling me toward you. The gravity of the real is absolute and true. It does not ask permission to take hold. It does not care what story I have told about my independence. The gravity of the real is the only force that makes me feel entirely grounded. Standing in the gravity, held by the actual. The gravity of the real is the only weight I want to carry. There are things that once you know them, stay known. Things that cannot be unlearned or packed away, like the exact temperature of the completely honest, or the way the absolute truth sounds when you say it out loud for the first time in a decade. What cannot be unlearned becomes the frame for everything that follows. It resets the standard and the meaning and the name. I cannot unlearn the feeling of the open, cannot return to the comfort of the closed. The close was comfortable because it asked for nothing, but the open asked for everything exposed. What cannot be unlearned is that the open is the only place where anything survives. The closed is just a very quiet dying, but the open is where the real man arrives. What cannot be unlearned is what I am now. What cannot be unlearned has taught me how to stay inside the feeling when it's hard, to stay inside the truth without a guard. What cannot be unlearned is the final lesson that leaves no room for the returning to the false. I know it now, I feel it now, I hold it now. Is the truest thing I've earned. And it is yours. There is an exhaustion that is not from the depletion, not from the draining of the vital and the good. It is the beautiful exhaustion of the total, of having stood exactly where you should, and given everything that could be given, without the holding back of any part. The beautiful exhaustion is the quiet that settles in the completely emptied heart. I have been exhausted by the fighting, by the maintaining of the armor and the wall. But that was a bitter and a tight exhaustion that left me smaller after every fall. This is different. This is the expansive, the beautiful exhaustion of the real, the completely surrendered, heavy, honest resting of a man who has nothing left to conceal. The beautiful exhaustion of loving all the way. The beautiful exhaustion At the ending of the day, when nothing has been kept for the reserve, when everything was spent with full intent, the beautiful exhaustion is the only rest that feels entirely heaven-sent. Empty in the best way, spent in the truest way. The beautiful exhaustion is the reward for the full and honest giving. Was not built for the temporary shelter, not constructed for the brief and passing storm. I was built for the long passage through the weather, for the duration of whatever starts to form. Between two people who decide to stay, I have the architecture of the committed, the foundation of the deep and the endured. I am not built to be easily acquitted. And the long passage is not without its damage. The long passage takes its toll upon the frame. But what survives the passage is essential, and what survives the passage earns its name. I am built for the endurance of the honest, for the long haul of the difficult and true. Built for the long passage is another way of saying I was built to be with you. Built for the long passage, not the quick retreat. Built for the long passage, through the cold and through the heat. Ooh, built to stand when standing is required. Built to stay when others have grown tired. Built for the long passage is the truest thing I am. And the passage has just begun. The long passage is my home. The long passage for the duration, built for the completely true. The silence after the argument is different from the silence of the distance or the void. It is heavy with the things that were just spoken, and thick with what was almost destroyed. But then the temperature begins to settle, and the ringing in the ears begins to fade, and the silence after the argument reveals the actual foundation that was laid. Because the argument was just the weather, and the foundation is what remains below. The silence after the argument is honest. It is the place where the true connection shows its strength, because it did not break or shatter. It held the weight of the conflict and the heat. The silence after the argument is the sound of a love that refuses defeat. The silence after the argument is where the real work lives. The silence after the argument, what the honest gives, the willingness to stay inside the room when the easier thing would be to leave. The silence after the argument is the deepest thing I can believe. In the silence, still here, still here. After the storm, the silence after the argument is where the real love starts to form. Put down the last of the protecting, the final shield I carried for the pride. There is nothing left to defend in this interior, no careful secret I am trying to hide. The territory is completely open. The borders are unguarded and available. I have surrendered every single post and found the undefended unassailable. Because you cannot attack what is transparent. You cannot breach a wall that isn't there. Nothing left to defend means I am standing in the absolute center of the bear. An honest truth of what I feel for you. The armor was just heavy and exhausting, and taking it off was the only way to move, without the constant calculating and the costing. Nothing left to defend is the ultimate release. Nothing left to defend is the only actual peace. When the ego has surrendered every flag and the pride is folded up its heavy tent, nothing left to defend is the most beautiful and honest environment. Nothing left to defend, nothing left to guard. The undefended man is finally free to love you. In the before and in the after, in the memory and the anticipation. I have spent decades in the theoretical and missed the actual physical location of my own life, but that is ended now. The absolute present has demanded my attention. It has pulled me from the past and from the future, and anchored me in this exact dimension. The absolute present is not forgiving. It requires the full attendance of the soul. It does not allow the wandering of the focus. It demands the completely present and the whole. And what it gives in return is the reality of this specific moment with your face. The absolute present is the only time, and this specific room, the only place love occurs. The absolute present is where the vision clears. No dragging of the past into the room, no borrowing of trouble from tomorrow. The absolute present is the end of the unnecessary sorrow. The illusion was comfortable and well lit. It had the familiar furniture of the safe. It offered the appearance of the living without the friction and without the chafe. Of the actual rubbing against the actual. Where the illusion ends, the cold air hits. But the cold air is the atmosphere of waking. And waking is where the real man sits. I walked to the edge of the illusion and stepped across the boundary of the known into the territory of the unscripted, where the honest and the difficult are grown. Where the illusion ends is where you meet me, because you never lived inside the false. You were always waiting in the actual, while I was practicing a phantom waltz. Where the illusion ends, the real life begins. Where the illusion ends, the honest man finally wins. Not a victory over anything but fear, not a triumph over anything but sleep. Where the illusion ends is the only promise I intend to keep. Past the illusion,
past the illusion,
into the real,
into the real,
past the pretending,
past the pretending,
into the feel,
into the feel
of the absolute and the true. Where the illusion ends is you. There is a numbness that masquerades as peace, a lack of feeling that pretends to be control. But the ache is the indicator of the living. The ache is the pulse rate of the soul. When you feel the bruise of the emotional, when the impact leaves a mark upon the chest, the ache that means you're alive is not a failing. It is the evidence that you have passed the test. I welcome the ache because it means I'm open. I welcome the sting because it means I'm there. The protected man feels nothing but his armor. The open man feels the entirety of the air. And the air is full of everything that matters. The beautiful, the terrifying, the deep. The ache that means you're alive is the sensation of waking from a decade-long sleep. The ache that means you're alive is better than the comfortable dead. The ache that means you're alive is the truth inside your head that tells you what you feel is real and vital, that tells you love is actually arrived. The ache that means you're alive is the proof that you survived the numbness. Means you are not alone. I arrive without the trumpets or the drums, without the grand announcement of the changed. I arrived quietly at the conclusion that everything I was had been rearranged by the simple, steady presence of your love. I arrived without fanfare at the reel, and the quiet of the arriving was profound, because it matched exactly how I feel. The grand arrivals are for the performable. The quiet arrivals are for the profound. When a man finally understands his own heart, it does not make a salvatory sound. It is a silence settling into place, a dropping of the shoulders and the weight. Arriving without fanfare is the mark of a truth that does not need to agitate. Arriving without fanfare, at the center of the truth. Arriving without fanfare, past the arrogance of youth. Just a quiet walking into the available. Just a silent standing in the clear. Arriving without fanfare is the way. I finally got here. No announcement, no parade, just a quiet choice I made to be here with you. Arriving without fanfare in the completely true. What is it that holds me when I should be free? What is it that returns me to this place? What moves beneath the surface of my reasoning and puts your presence in my thinking space? It is not a weakness, it is more than that. Not a habit and not something learned by rote. It is the current underneath the stillness, too deep to see, but moving and afloat. Then why resist the pull of full surrender? Why construct these careful measured walls? Why pretend the depth is something manageable when every night the constructed distance falls? Because full surrender is the final frontier of every self-sufficiency I have known. And the man who stands before you asking nothing has spent a lifetime comfortable alone. But too deep to turn means only one direction. Too deep to turn means only one way through. Too deep to turn means I have long past chosen. The depth is you, the direction is you too. I am tired of the arguing, tired of the a strategic retreat, tired of pretending that the shallow is a place in which I am willing to compete with what I feel, with what I know, with what has always been too deep to turn, too deep to let the surface cover what has always lived within. Too deep to turn means only one direction. Too deep to turn means only one way through. Too deep to turn means I have long past chosen. The depth is you. The direction is you too. Loving you was beautiful, in the way that hollow things are beautiful, resonant and wide, and full of what is not there. I did not know the difference then between the depth of feeling and the depth of space that absence carves inside a man. Beautiful, the way we moved was beautiful. The way you turned toward me before you learned to turn away. I do not want to call it tragedy, because tragedy implies a fault, a flaw. And what we were was not a failure. It was a season with a natural withdrawal. Two people briefly, brilliantly aligned before the world reminded them of distance. And beauty does not cancel out the ending, but it persists. It carries that insistence. It stays inside the memory of motion, inside the trace of warmth that lingers still. And I would not erase what we became together, even knowing it would end the way it will. Hollow and beautiful, that is the word for memory. When it holds the shape of something without the weight inside. And I keep the hollow because the beautiful demands a place to live, even when the feeling is long gone. Hollow and beautiful and mine and gone. is still something that believes, even after what has worn belief away. Some persistent thread of possibility that refuses the conclusion of the day. I have been in places where hope made no sense, where the evidence was stacked against its case, and still this soft, insistent voice inside me insisted on the opening of a space where something new could enter, where something old could end with grace, where the story wasn't finished just because it had arrived at a hard place. And maybe hope is not the thing we carry. Maybe hope is something that we are. Not a belief in outcomes or in timing, but a nature that survives the deepest scar. I have met the version of myself that doubted, spent long seasons in his company, but the man who hopes is older and more certain that the doubting was the lesser part of me. So before the last exhale, before the final word is spent, before the will to try has fully emptied, I'll find the thing that hope has always meant. Not a promise, not a guarantee of something better, not a contract with the world to make it right, but a declaration from the self to the self that I am not surrendering tonight. Before the last exhale, there is still something here. Before the last exhale, the feeling remains clear. Before the last exhale, I have not ceased to be the man who wants, who hopes, who reaches. Before the last exhale, still me. I did not surrender in a moment. Surrender is not the kind of thing that happens in a moment. It It moved through me the way that understanding moves, in increments, in small revisions, in the gradual dissolving of resistance that I thought was principle. What I had called my independence was a way of loving at a distance, a method I had perfected over years of being moved by things I was afraid to move toward. And you were patient with me in a way that I did not deserve, but recognized as generous. You did not demand my openness. You simply made the space available and waited to see if I would fill it. The waiting was the kindest thing. Most people feel the silence before you. Decide what you mean before you say it. Complete the sentence you were gathering courage for. But you waited. Surrender is a slow thing. It doesn't come at once. Comes in pieces, in the quiet, in the undefended moments when you forget to guard. Surrender is a slow thing, the bravest kind of slow, the kind that takes a man a lifetime to finally let go. To surrender, not the portions I selected to be offered, but everything. The parts I carried in the dark, the parts I did not understand myself, the parts that hadn't spoken in so long. They had almost lost the language of themselves. And here I am, entirely arrived in the place that patience built, where surrender is not defeat, but the deepest form of having chosen. I came to you with everything I had, held nothing back, gave more than I could afford. I came to you with everything I had, turned my whole self toward you, toward And at the end I found that giving all you have is not a guarantee of your reward. I spend my patience building something true, fed it with attention, let it grow. I spend my patience building something true, more than any evidence could show. And what I built was real enough, but you decided that you never know. There comes a moment when a man must recognize that proving himself is not the point, that love is not a case to be presented, not an argument where merit is the joint. Conclusion of two people and their worth. I was not on trial and neither were you, but I exhausted myself making the argument, and you had already decided through. So I am done with the demonstration, done with every gesture meant to earn the thing I should have been extended freely, a truth I finished needing you to confirm. I know what I brought, I know what I offered, I know what it cost me and what it was worth, and I no longer need your recognition to understand the value of my worth. Nothing left to prove. There is a version of me that the world does not receive, the one that softens at the smallest honest gesture, the one that feels the weight of something passing long before the moment has had time to measure. I constructed early on the harder surface, the one that reads as steadiness and control. Because the world was not particularly gentle with the parts of me that wanted to be whole. And so I learned to keep the tender portion in the chamber where no casual eye could see, where the softness was protected from the handling of everything that wanted less from me. But you arrived and tenderness had nowhere left to go except toward you. It moved before I gave it any clearance. It recognized you before I could construe. This frame, it is the part that loved before it reasoned, the part that felt before I had a name. For what I was becoming in your presence, for what you drew out simply by being near. The tenderness I hide is now the only honest evidence that I am here. Entirely, completely, with every tender part of what I am, no longer hidden, no longer held at distance, the most complete and unguarded that I can. I used to keep my warning at a careful distance. Used to dress it up in something I could manage. Told myself that measured was a form of wisdom, that restraint was not the same as self-inflicted damage. But warning has a patience longer than resistance. It outlasts every argument I made. And what I kept insisting was a boundary, was simply something waiting to be frayed. Worn down to love, not broken. Worn down the way a man is worn down to his truest by everything that strips the surface clean. Worn down to love, past every practice distance, down to what I am and what I mean. There is a kind of man who calls his armor wisdom, who names his isolation something earned. And I have been that man in every decade, have worn that reputation till it burned. Because the cost of keeping people at a distance is the loss of everything that distance costs. And what I thought I was protecting carefully turned out to be the most that I have lost. And you did not wear me down with any pressure. You simply were exactly what you were, and something in your being was sufficient to dissolve what I had spent years to prefer. The preference for alone, the preference for control, the preference for the kind of love that never asked more than I was told I could hold. But you rewrote the preference simply by existing in my range. Worn down to love, not broken. Worn down, past the man who kept the careful record, past the version built for standing ground. To the part that was always underneath it, to the man who wanted to be found. Worn down to love, down to what I am, down to what I mean. Down to you. There is a place where enough and not enough share the same coordinates inside a man, where the love that was given is exactly sufficient and exactly more than what the heart can stand. I gave you what I had without reservation. Every part I thought was mine to give, and the giving was not burden, it was living, the most complete expression of to live. But somewhere in the territory of the total, there is a border where the self runs thin, where generosity collides with dissolution, and the man who gave so much forgets within. I stood at that border more than once with you, recognized the feeling and stood firm. Decided that the love was worth the thinning, that the self would find its way to reconfirm. But there comes a point beyond the border standing, where the thinning reaches something that won't heal. And I arrived at that point understanding that the love was real, and so was what I feel. At the edge of enough is where I finally understood that love without return is not devotion. It is a man misread as he withstood. At the edge of enough, I found not bitterness, but clarity, the kind that only comes from full exhaustion of a love that has too much of what was free. And I do not recall this out of wounding. There is no version here that seeks a blame. What we were was honest at its center, and the ending does not undo what we became. There is a place where enough and not enough share the same coordinates inside a man. And I have stood there long enough to know them, and long enough to finally understand that I was always more than what was needed, and the edge was not the end of what I am. The edge of enough was just the edge of that season, and I walked from it entirely the same man. There is a space between the said and the unsaid, where most of what we were has made its home, a territory neither one of us declared, and neither one of us has claimed alone. I have walked through that space more than I intended, returned to it the way a man returns to the place where something significant occurred, because the significance still moves and turns inside him, past the reasoning, past the language, past the version of the story that he tells. The real thing lives between the words about it. The real thing lives where no neat narrative dwells. Somewhere between us, there is still a frequency, a shared vibration that the years have not dissolved. Something that was tuned between two people that neither distance nor decision has resolved. I am not suggesting it was unfinished, not suggesting that it needs a second chance. I am simply saying that between two people, some things outlast the ending of the dance. Somewhere between us, in the territory of the almost spoken, in the feeling that arrived before the thought, in the closeness that we reach before the broken, in the truth we nearly said but never brought to the surface of the ordinary language of two people managing what they became. Somewhere between us is the thing we moved past that never answered to another name. Somewhere between us, it still lives.
Somewhere between us,
Something gives its warmth
to every silent place
I carry forward in the absence of your face. There is a mercy in the ending of resistance, the moment when the holding becomes more than the thing that was being held could carry, and the self decides it will not hold anymore. I have resisted long enough to know what resistance costs across a year, a decade. It costs the tenderness that should be moving and leaves instead a carefully composed charade. I called it self-possession, called it grounded, called it the philosophy of the self-contained. But what I was not a man at peace. I was a man who suffered and who trained himself to make the suffering look chosen, to make the isolation read as strength. And I maintained that reading for so long that I believed it at almost every length. Almost, because the part that knew the truth kept making itself heard in the quiet, in the undefended early hours. And then you offered what I did not know to ask for. Not a solution and not a reprieve, but the simple extraordinary presence of someone who would stay and not deceive. And something in me recognized the mercy of being seen without the need to perform. And something in me that had braced so long against the world laid down and became warm. Last mercy is not weakness, it is wisdom. The recognition that the self is not alone, that carrying the full weight of existing is not the same as being fully grown. Last mercy is the moment when the armor is acknowledged as the cover that it was, and the man beneath it steps into the open and is loved precisely as he was, and always is, and always will be. So here I stand,
Past the resistance,
past the decade of the held back and the contained,
here I stand.
in the last mercy of this moment, a man entirely arrived and unashamed,
Here I stand.
in the only place that's honest, with everything I am, completely unrestrained. Last mercy is the beginning, not the end. Not the end.